What's up, y'all? I am Chris Hayes 508. Today we got a very special guest. Please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, and what you got going on.
How's it going, guys? I'm Reformed Stoic. I am from Kodiak, Alaska,
Ooh,
and dropped a single, Moggy Jr. Came out about a month ago today. It's on all platforms on my YouTube channel, Reformed Stoic. And yeah, I'm thinking about making a music video for it, so I'm trying to push it as hard as I can.
that'd be super cool. I saw that in the description. He was working on that, and I had a chance to check out a snippet of it. You got some bars in there. You definitely got to deliver. You didn't just get started yesterday, man. So I want to find out a little bit more about your journey in music. Find out more about you. But before we do all that, Reform Stoic, I want to officially welcome you to On the Spot. Thank you for coming through, man. Yes, sir. We gotta welcome you to the show, man. You are the special guest today, and kind of have a deep name, man. Reform Stoic. That's a kind of an interesting combination of words. So I want to find out a little bit more about your name. Tell the people again, what is your official artist name? Who gave it to you? Why did you choose it? Tell us a story about your name.
Well, I've gone by a few different names in the past. Reformed Stoic actually used to be the Perennial Stoic. And I'll go ahead and say that's my business email. If anybody wants to contact me, I'm perennialstoic@gmail.com. So perennial comes from the perennial philosophy. I'm kind of a philosopher. I'm like a few months out from a bachelor's degree in philosophy, which I may never finish, but hey, you know what? That's life. I still read a lot of books, take inspiration from that kind of stuff. Reformed came from like Reformed theology and Christianity. So that was kind of me leaving the kind of like spiritual smorgasbord. Some could say a cult, but that sounds kind of dramatic sometimes. I was kind of into that kind of stuff. And then I became more of a Christian, so it became Reformed Stoic. Now, on a different level, it's kind of a play on words to where people are always saying that, like, I'm a Stoic. The Stoic philosophy is you're supposed to, only focus on the things that you can control. You could say it's kind of like, well, I used to be a Stoic, now I'm Reformed, to where I got a little bit of attitude. Sometimes I'm not happy with things the way they are. I got a little bit of fight in me. And so it's got a few different things to it. But, sometimes when people are like, dude, you're supposed to be a Stoic, I'm just like, it's a name. You got to come up with a name. It's a name. But that's kind of how my life is. It's like maybe I didn't put that much thought into the name originally, but it does have a lot of meaning behind it. So
It does. I mean, it definitely like I wouldn't say I'm close to getting my bachelor's degree in philosophy, but I think that's definitely super. I'm 0 months away from getting mine, but I do study that type of stuff a little bit, read different books, I understand Stoic to a degree, and that's what caught my attention. So it is a word, that people are familiar with, or if they're not, it generates, curiosity. Just like, so you got me, man. You definitely got me. And with that being said, I want to find out a little bit more about your journey in music, because I see you got a drum set behind you, you got a mic up there, so you're obviously like doing a lot of things in music. But tell us a little bit from the beginning, like how did you actually get into music? When did you start? Is this something recent, something you've been doing since you were younger? Bring us along your journey, how you got started, but also like what's your motivation to keep going? Why do you do what you do?
for sure. So it goes all the way back to like sixth grade. I was playing drums first. A family friend gave me free drum lessons, which was cool. And it was kind of so I could play a talent show in the sixth grade. I did a real simple drum solo. People told me I was pretty good from a young age, but I don't think I was like a prodigy or anything. Solo was like do do that do that, sigga digga 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 digga, simple beats and stuff. But it was tight, and people dug it. And so before that, with like rap, when I was in like second and third grade, I was born in 1991.
Wow.
Eminem, Britney Spears, and Kid Rock was like some of the most popular stuff on the radio. And I had a friend, he lived in a trailer park, Not that that matters, but like some Eminem type of stuff. We would listen to like Eminem records when his parents weren't around. And we're little kids, we're kind of like giggling at the swear words and stuff. But I definitely was listening to Eminem at a very young age.
Yeah, that's too young because I was like 99.
Yeah, we were kind of unsupervised and what. But so, I'm drumming through middle school. And fast forward to more like junior year of high school. That's when I started partying a little bit, smoking a little bit of weed, drinking. I've kind of reeled it in a little bit since then. I had a lot of friends that listened to rap. I was honestly getting into like metal music. But the first rapper that really kind of got me back into rap would be Immortal Technique. My friend put on Revolutionary, what was it? The Industrial Revolution was the name of the song. He played that in his car, and I was like, man, this guy's saying some shit. This is not a stereotype that I heard in my head of rap. Now, to some people, like I like Immortal Technique. He's great, but there's all kinds of different rap out there. I had a friend who was really into Lil Wayne at the time. And I was still kind of in my own weird way. My origins were very artsy. A modern rapper I'd like to shout out, and he's not even modern anymore. So much time has gone by. But I remember Kevin Gates saying that he doesn't really listen to other people's rap that much. I mean, I'm sure he does, but he says his inspiration really just kind of comes from within. He tries to kind of avoid listening to too much stuff so he can be fresh. I guess that's kind of how I was in the beginning. You could say I was a rapper who didn't really listen to a lot of rap. The way it really started is I made a beat on my laptop, GarageBand, and after I made the beat, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's try rapping over it. And I showed it to people in school. I started a group called the K-Town Crew because I was from Kodiak, Alaska.
Wow.
Me, two other rappers, and back then, like that music isn't really around anymore. But it was rough, man. The production was rough, GarageBand. So I could really go on and on about how things started to form. But I went to music school to play drums, Berklee College of Music. That's like one of the big ones.
Boston.
Boston, yeah. I lived there from 2009 to 2014. Did not graduate. It was expensive. I still got unpaid student loans.
Damn.
I played in like metal bands. I was like a metal drummer, like a heavy metal drummer. But so I was I would say that was the beginning of me really trying to be a rapper. And I have some demos from back in those days that I show people. It's like, you know what? I stand behind this. I think it's pretty good. But I didn't really have the kind of self-belief that I have now. It was hard. So much of being a rapper is you got to believe in yourself. You got to be okay with people questioning why you do it. And I'll just go ahead and throw out there. It's like, I'm a white guy. It can be hard for white guys to stand behind it. But even beyond race, it's like not every black guy out there who's trying to be a rapper, people buy it. Like you're trying to sell this image of yourself. And early on, it can be very difficult to stand up tall and be like, hey, you know what? I'm a rapper. This is what I'm doing. So I moved to Vegas in 2014. I went very inward. I had a lot of friends in Boston. I lived in a house with like 5 other people, partied a lot. Things started in Vegas. Spent more time by myself. Started reading books, which really wasn't a thing for me. I was kind of just a party animal. Went inward, reading books, getting into spiritual stuff. And that was all kind of trying to be like Jedi mind tricks. That was like another.
I used to like them a lot.
Jedi mind tricks, Immortal Technique. That's kind of where things started for me. But it was over the next couple of years, it's like, you know what? I like Kanye. I like Drake. I love that like early 2010s kind of stuff, like Stay Schemin' with French Montana.
Oh yeah.
Drake, Ashton Martin music. I started to kind of understand the more like I don't want to say like swaggy rap, but I come from like the Immortal Technique, Jedi mind tricks. But then I started to be like, you know what? I like this other stuff too. And something about it that I think they might call somebody a backpack rapper, a conscious rapper. I feel like that's what I am at heart. but I started to kind of be like, you know what? I feel like I could try to do whatever this is. It's a long, confusing story. I'll try to kind of wrap it up to get to the next question. I used to be called lucid hip hop around like 2015. I used to make a song every day. Um,
Damn.
I had a lot of heart, but I know a lot more about production now, where it's like you got to buy the beat tracked out, you got to pay somebody to mix it. It's pretty hard to make it on your own unless like you're a legit producer. But I was doing the best I can. I was making a lot of demos. I got some sort of a development deal. People were telling me maybe I was going to get signed to Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Now, these people they could verify that they had worked with some people in the industry. I don't want to put these people on blast. I know a lot of people who have done these kind of deals. It costs a little bit of money. It kind of ends up leaving people feeling a little high and dry. I wouldn't call it a scam, but I end up having this music video and a song. If people want to check that out, I was going to be called Rally. That was supposedly going to be my signed artist name. The
Wow.
song "Oh Head" by Rally. I have a music video on YouTube from 2016. So after that played out in 2017, I was feeling a little bit high and dry. It's like, okay, now what? Go to college for a couple of years. That's when I was working on my bachelor's in philosophy. Um, but I was a little bit lost during those times, and I essentially quit rapping for a while. So Reformed Stoic was my YouTube channel. That was basically unrelated to rap.
Mm.
And so I was doing that for a while. But as things went on with that, there's a whole crazy story behind that too. I started kind of telling people I used to be a rapper. I was freestyling a little bit for fun, very non-threatening way. Like a good way if you're trying to get back into it is like you're not trying to make people think you're feeling yourself or anything. Like, hey, I'll do a little freestyle, and people are like, "Man, you're actually pretty good."
Mm.
So I kept doing that, and I kind of got back into it. And over time, I was like, I feel like I'm better than I've ever been because so much of it is the attitude. I was all right back in 2016. I'm very opinionated. I feel like if I was some industry plant, super rich, could have thrown a bunch of money at my music, I was probably good enough to get some attention back then.
Yeah.
But I'm just coming from a different place now. It's so much of being a rapper. If anybody cares to hear my advice, it's like you got to believe in yourself. You can't worry about people who don't believe in you. It's kind of some of that positive thinking type of stuff. It's like you have to believe it before anybody else does. Most people aren't like Mac Miller. There's a video of him. His whole high school is clapping along and cheering. I'm from Kodiak, Alaska, man, and people don't really make it from that town. And it was hard to get people behind me. People questioned it. I was a little bit rough coming up. Some of my songs were better than others. That's the gist of it, man. It's a very
Wow.
messy story, but
I, I mean, we've learned a lot, man. We've learned about your influences. You give some advice that I think people can learn from, whether it's deals or just, believing in yourself. That's just such a through line. You gotta, even when you have zero fans, you gotta really be believing, no matter, it doesn't even matter. It's like, it's just gonna happen one way or the other. And I mean, you said it very well, man. I think, you answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask you. I mean, to be real, but there's still a couple that I need to ask you about, and I want to make sure we get a chance to talk about your music, because I know you're excited about this new song that you got out, and I'm very curious about it. You definitely got bars, and I feel the emotion, the delivery, man. It's definitely raw, and you have a little bit of your personality, your attitude in there, man. Um, let's talk about the new song, man. Tell the people again, what is your new single that's out? What's the title? And I've been meaning to ask this the whole time, but I was waiting for the right time. What is the meaning of Moggy Jr.? What is that?
absolutely. So I'm kind of a character on the internet. People start searching around my name, Reform Stoic. You probably find my YouTube channel. I talk about a lot of stuff. I'm kind of a talker. There's there's an internet trend going on right now about like looks maxing
Oh yeah.
and it's all these guys talking about how like all that matters for men is looks. So here's the philosophy behind Moggy Jr. A mogger is somebody who's like Francis Ngannou from UFC, Brock Lesnar, like a 6'4", 250 kickboxer or wrestler. That's not me. I'm Moggy Jr. I'm 5'8". I'm 170 pounds. But something that I do, I train every single day, man. I got a heavy bag. I've been doing martial arts for a long time, and I'm not really cocky with it. I'm very real about it. Like a lot of it's size. You watch UFC, there's weight classes. But I boxed a couple of times. I grew up in a rowdy town. I wasn't a wrestler. I was in the pep band playing drums. I had friends who were wrestlers, I'll tell you what, and I think I would have been a good wrestler. Like I tried a lot of sports when I was a kid, but and I fought a little bit dirty. I was wrestling with one of my wrestler friends. I pulled his shirt over his head, and this girl was like, "If you didn't pull your shirt over his head, you would have lost." But it's about the underdog, man. Moggy Jr. is the underdog. We're living in a very material world these days. I feel like guys are being held up to some crazy standards. I've been into fitness for a long time. A lot of guys are taking steroids, and that's basically what these looks maxers guys are encouraging people to do. And it's like, it's more than how tall or how big you are. It's like how much heart you got and how much you're willing to risk and put in it. As far as the lyrical content, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of double entendres. I'll say one of them, I said something about he's going to burn a debt because he had a holy vision. Saint Bernadette was a nun that had a vision of the Holy Mary. Bernadette isn't double entendre because I have student loans. So,
Ooh, bars. I want to thank you for coming through, bro. Moggy Jr.'s out right now. My boy drums, he raps, he's got a lot of opinions, and these days people don't have much of an opinion on anything, man. So I love you putting your perspective out there, and you don't care if it's gonna get you blackballed or this or that or the other. You just gotta be a lone wolf. I relate to that so much, man. And before we go, we got 30 seconds left. Is there any shout outs you want to give? Anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about? Anything you want to mention? New music on the way? Talk to them, bro. Let them know what it is before we go.
you said stuff about being blackballed. I know a little bit about that. I'll just leave that at that. New music, I was thinking about either making a video for Moggy Jr. or going on to the next one. I got a formula now. I hire a guy to mix. I got my vocal studio, buy a nice beat.
Yeah.
It's tough to make like a really quality video. So there is a chance I will just move on to the next song, but the plan's kind of like a new hot track every month, and I got a lot of different sounds to me. I feel like the Moggy Jr. was kind of clean, really bar focused, not especially like fast or technical. I don't really do the Tech 9 stuff. That's not really my jam, but I'd be interested to see what. Yeah. I like to kind of lay back a little bit.
Just the beats you're picking, your flow, your delivery, you definitely, that boom bap underground vibe, bro, but in your own way. And I love that you made that. I thought that's what that song might be about, I'm like, he's talking about mogging, you know what I'm saying? Because that is the whole thing. So I think you're right on in the trends. You're doing well on YouTube, your music, you're diverse, you're not staying in one lane, you're just having fun creating, bro. And I love that. I'm in the Reform Stoic rabbit hole right now, bro. So you got me, and I know if everyone made it this far, you got them too, bro. So there's only one thing left to do. Press like, drop a comment, share this on your story, go give them a follow. You already know what it is. I'm Chris Ace 508. This on the spot. We gonna see y'all on the next episode.